Hey, how are you doing? Welcome back to part 3 of the 6-part tutorial in illustration with me, Ed Reynolds. This week we will be exploring perspective, 1-point, 2-point and 3-point perspective. A very important lesson in understanding composition. So we're going to get started, and before we get started, can I say to you, maybe ask that you perhaps send in some of your illustrations to the website, to the Wheelworks website, and the details are attached at the end of this video. So please send us in any drawings that you've done while following these tutorials. Okay, we are going to look at 1-point perspective to begin this tutorial. I don't have a marker, I don't have a ruler. All we can need today are pens and an object with a straight edge. I'm using a piece of card because my ruler and other materials are in my studio, which is locked up due to lockdown. So if we get the straight edge, piece of paper, card, whatever you have, and we are going to draw the horizontal line. We need to draw a horizon line to begin. And the horizon line is what we always, it's our point of balance when we look. We always gauge things against where the horizon line is, okay? So I'm going to put what's known as a vanishing point here. This is 1-point perspective. We have one vanishing point in 1-point perspective, okay? And we're going to draw guidelines just out from that vanishing point. You don't have to draw them any particular, just so long as they cut through the vanishing point. There doesn't have to be any distance or any specific measurement between them. Just draw them as they are, and I'm going to start this by drawing just a cube. We're going to look at a cube full frontal, full on, and this is a one-dimensional cube, okay? We're looking at it, say, from ground level, which means we don't see the sides, we don't see the top, we don't see the bottom, okay? So when we look at a picture like that, we don't know if it's if it's flat or if it's a 3D object, okay? But when you bring 1-point perspective, when you bring perspective into it, it changes that completely. And I'm going to draw some. Oh, that's wrong. Always draw the line from the point. Okay, the line's red. So I'm going to draw a cube here. You're going to get it now. You'll see what happens. Okay. There, I'm going to draw this over. When you're drawing the top and bottom of the cube on 1-point perspective, you always draw it parallel to the horizon line, okay? Always draw the line above and below horizontal to your, parallel to your horizon line. Okay, look at these. So already we start to see the side and the bottom of the shape, okay? Running that line there to the vanishing point, it gives me an accurate edge here, which shows my side line, okay? So I'm going to come down here, look, parallel to do the bottom of this, and where that line meets there is the corner, and I'm going to darken that up, okay? So already you can see how 1-point perspective starts to show us different sides, different dimensions, and makes more the object 3D. So that's like looking up at that object, seeing the bottom and the left-hand side, okay? And if we want to see the cube from a different angle, I'm gonna do, hold on, this needs to be parallel, okay? I'll draw another one here.
Isn't it great what you can do when you don't have many materials? I mean, I should have a ruler in the house somewhere, but I couldn't find one. And I know I have 3 of them in my studio, but I just love improvising and using ordinary household objects as art materials. Okay, here is one other square, cube. To get the side here, I want to bring it to the vanishing point and run the line from the corner of the cube up, light line. Okay, and I'm just going to come in a bit. And again, this is parallel. The vertical line is parallel to the sides of the box, of the cube. And here is another cube. This time we're looking down on it. Okay, we can see the sides and we can see the top. And we also, last week we were drawing cylinders. Here is another way to draw and show the cylinder with more accuracy. Okay, so draw a circle in these lines here. Okay, and a circle within these lines here. Okay, so the outer line pointing towards the vanishing point is going to give me the bottom line to the cylinder. I'm just going to stop there, and then the top line from the outside of the radius of the front of the cylinder, running along to the vanishing point, gives me that line there. Okay, gives me the line which is accurate and is the top line to the cylinder, right to the back of its radius. I'm going to just bring this around here. That gives me the circle, gives me half that radius. So that gives a good, accurate depiction of the cylinder. We're looking from above also. And I'm just going to draw one more up here. Hopefully you're understanding this. I think when you understand, when you do understand perspective, it's a really handy thing to take into matters when you're drawing, when you're going about drawing. Like last week when we said about drawing shapes, understanding the shape, showing us understanding the makeup and where the light hits the shapes, how the shapes are constructed. But with perspective, it really is a handy thing to know, in how to understand how to construct the composition. Okay, run that one up to here. Run this down here. And again, parallel to that line. Okay, so there is another square or cube drawn in 1 point perspective. Okay, so I hope that's a good understanding to 1 point perspective. Very simple, very easy, always worth doing when you're drawing or doodling. And remember, when things go closer to the vanishing point, they literally get to the point where they disappear, they vanish. And when they come nearer, like train tracks for example, you know, they start out and they like being really close together, but the nearer they get to our eye, the wider the tracks become. Okay, so the same with lampposts, very close together in the distance, and the nearer to our eye they just space out. Okay, I hope that explains that one. That's 1 point perspective. You can see already how the eye is drawn right into the picture, onto a flat surface, just using the vanishing point, the horizon line, and the guidelines. Okay, we're going to switch now to 2 point perspective. 2 point perspective, again with your fancy ruler. Do your horizon line and your vanishing point 1, your vanishing point 2, and you know, I'm going to take this over here actually just a little bit further. It's always good to do them far apart. Okay, do them as far away as you can. Sometimes for certain compositions, you would draw them off the page, you know, literally off, because if you have them too close, it'll be too warpy, and it's kind of worth doing maybe sometime. And if you do want to do really warpy pictures, put your two vanishing points closer to each other, okay? So I'm going to draw my guides again from the vanishing point. Facing, yeah, I'm drawing towards the other vanishing point, okay? Already you can see a difference. It looks very, yeah, you can see that it looks sharp. You kind of see what's nearly going to happen. Let me just kind of darken the horizon line there, okay? So I'm going to draw a cube again. Really interesting to do, an interesting process to use when you're drawing streetscapes. A lot of old Marvel comics and stuff like that, you would see their use and understanding of perspective. Okay, so again, I'm using the lines here as guides, which will give me this top and bottom and the underneath. Again, that line brings up to here. This line, because your eye tells you, like, you don't guess and go, which of the vanishing points do I use to give me that guide? The picture will tell you, and your eye will tell you. That's where that one goes. See already the difference. Using 2-point perspective, we don't rely just, I remember we said earlier on, you would draw parallel to the horizon line for the edges of the cube. This is what you use now. We use the vanishing points and the guidelines in 2-point perspective to give us more depth and more dimensions. Okay. It's a really handy and effective way to draw 3D objects. And when I say 3D, I'm not saying 3D that we come across, it has to 3D as in, whoa, trick to the eye. It's composition, streetscapes, townscapes, like what we touched off last week. We did that while that was all done freehand. This is a bit more technical, but it's way more accurate. When you learn where these lines meet, the top of the object that you draw, they carry on through to the edge, to the top of the next line, and brings it down. And you can just manipulate the shapes. You can make them really like, well, a little bit warped. You can play on the shapes, make them look sharp. I mean, if you were to draw a building, let's just do an extra line along there. If you were to draw a building, this is the way you do it. Okay. Again, you could be drawing a building above there. I'm going to draw the line up even further. Guide from the vanishing point. Okay, and take that edge to here. Okay, and bring it into about there. And using the vertical line, cutting down through the horizon line, works really well. Going across. Okay, and on to 3-point perspective. Our horizon, I'm going to bring the horizon line just down, okay, lower. and put a vertical line along here. Okay, and vanishing point, and a vanishing point, and a vanishing point here. I'll do VP. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and fire out some lines this way. Again, spacing out your vanishing points. If you put them too close, too cluttered and too warped, but you can try it. I recommend for this exercise, just keep them spread apart, your vanishing points, always as far out as you can. As I said, sometimes they can go off the page depending on the actual composition. So run these lightly down along here, run these lightly down along here, and see what shapes we can get from here. So this is going to give us maybe a view looking up to these shapes. Let me see. Let's draw some cubes again, using all of the lines that come from our vanishing points. For me to get the underside of this cube here, I need to go to vanishing point 2. Okay, and for that side also, running that along there. Okay, and for that corner 2, I need vanishing point 2, and I'll run that line down. Okay, you can see it taking shape already. Look, down here. Okay, shape number 1. Let's see what other points of perspective we can. Let's look from above. Okay. And running those lines alongside. You can have so much fun with perspective. 1 and 2 point perspective. 3 point is just more complex, as you see. It gives you far more, what's the word? Just, I suppose, detail in the composition of the shapes and structure. Let's do one here in the middle. And coming down here. Coming down below the horizon line. And again, using the vanishing point 2 for the lower line of the shape. And I'm going to run it up to the top here to give me that edge. And to get the outside, I need to go to vanishing point 3. Give me the outer right hand side line. Okay, there you go, folks. There is your tutorial in perspective, 1, 2 and 3 point perspective. Practice as often as you can, and when you can. You just need a piece of paper, a pencil and a ruler. Okay, and listen, any artworks that you would like to share, please send them through to us. And we can share them on the Wheelworks website. The details are attached. Thanks guys, see you next week. Bye bye.